Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Digdata HSBC First Step Challenge. Don't we all love a technical issue? Just goes to show what happens when everything goes live. Thank you so much for joining. You can see there's 5 polls there that we'd like to answer. Let me just go through those with you while we wait for some of the participants to join. So poll 1. Have you ever joined a virtual event or activity before, like a workshop, a challenge, or an online talk? 0 means no, 5 means yes. Have you ever attended a Digdata virtual work experience event before? You can see there's a lot of people that haven't, so welcome. This is great to see you guys being career focused, and great and welcome back to some of our other community. Where did you hear about today's event? There's a few options there as well, so if you could please fill your responses in. How confident are you about your understanding of careers in data and technology? 0 is not at all, 5 is you're confident. And lastly, which of these skills do you think is the most important in a data career? Okay, fantastic. I'm just going to give that a few more seconds for everybody to fill in. Okay, I think we're 100% answered. Sharon, can you please end the poll and share the results? Great, thank you. So we've got lots of people that haven't joined a virtual work experience event before. So congratulations, this is the start of your career knowledge and education. We've got lots of people that haven't attended a Digdata virtual work experience before. So welcome to our community. And for those of you that have come back, nice to see you again. Where did you hear about today's event? From school and college? Fantastic. It's good to know that your career leaders are sharing all these wonderful events. How confident are you about your understanding of careers in data and technology? We've got a mid-understanding, but I'm sure you're going to know a little bit more about that after today's session. Which skills do you think is the most important in a data career? And they all seem sort of a little bit neck to neck, and actually all of them are very important. Very quick question to anybody right now who's raising their hand. Stop raising your hand. We're going to go through everything and we're going to enable the chat a little bit later. Okay, so let me introduce myself. My name is Rachel Keane. I'm the founder of the Data Inspiration Group and the Digdata Programme, which gives students just like yourselves the opportunity to give virtual work experience where we can develop essential data literacy and storytelling skills, which are increasingly in demand across a wide range of careers from business, finance, technology, health, and government. Today's 45-minute briefing session with HSBC will give you the opportunity to meet the team who've created the Career Challenge, pitch for a purpose, plan the ultimate charity event with HSBC. Now, the HSBC team will give you hints and tips on how to approach this bite-sized project by talking through the data set they've created for you to use to answer the Career Challenges questions, and some tips on how you can share your answers in a presentation format. Everything you need to complete this career challenge will be made accessible after the session, and we will give you instructions on this later. You can complete this challenge independently or with a friend, and you will have 7 days to complete and email to us. All this information will be reiterated at the end of the session and in the email we send to you later today. All submitted projects will receive a virtual work experience certificate too. Now, you'll notice that we've disabled your cameras and your microphones, and we ask for you to communicate with us using the chat and Q&A function only. Now, please bear in mind these functionalities will only be available in today's session when we require your input. So you'll see now they've been disabled. If you have any technical issues throughout today's session at all, please email info@digdata.online, and that's just been popped in the chat, so you'll be able to see that. Now, this is a virtual work experience event, okay? So for some of you that haven't attended these before, we expect appropriate behaviour throughout. This is not an opportunity to use the chat or the Q&A function to talk to your friends, and we will remove you from the session and future events if you misuse these functionalities. We want this to be a positive experience for everyone, where you learn new skills and knowledge about new and exciting careers. And what will you benefit from completing this session today? You're going to learn how HSBC use data every day to make decisions and solve problems. You'll receive a virtual work experience certificate on submittal of your work in a week's time, and you'll gain valuable data literacy skills. Now, before I introduce our keynote today, just want to say again, stop raising your hand, okay? We will go through and give you access to the chat and the Q&A when you need to. Now, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to Josie McAvoy, who is the Head of Strategy and Transformation. Over to you, Josie.
Hi, thank you. Hi, everybody. So I'm Josie McAvoy and I work in data technology at HSBC. And we're really thrilled to be partnering with Digdata. And myself and my colleagues on the screen here are all super excited to be with you on this webinar today. And so here at HSBC, we think data skills and working with data is really important. And we have many career paths at HSBC related to data skills, both in the business side and in the technology side where I work. As you can imagine, working for a global bank means we hold and look after lots and lots of data for our business and our customers. Sorry, for our business and our customers. And the bank literally runs on data. It's a really exciting place to work, and we provide data for reports and decision making to feed things like messaging and notifications in our mobile banking app. And there's also some really cool stuff that we do around machine learning and artificial intelligence. Today, we're going to give you a flavour of working with data as we take you through a data challenge of your own. And with that, I'll hand over to the team and some of my colleagues, and over to you, Kirsty.
Hi, my name's Kirsty and I work within data privacy in HSBC. My role is making sure that customer and also staff data is kept safe, and we review any data that the bank wants to use for various projects, initiatives, etc., to make sure that the data is going to be used properly and safely. I think it's important that people are trusting us with all their data, so it's imperative that we keep the data safe and look after it properly. Sarah?
Cool. Thanks, Kirsty. Hi, my name's Sarah. I work in change delivery, so delivering new projects for data privacy, actually. So I work alongside Kirsty as well. We use data for making decisions within the delivery world. So we can use it for prioritizing, tracking progress, speed of delivery, and also measuring the team's progress as well.
So we're going to start off with a bit of an icebreaker for you all, okay? So we want you to put your answers in the poll. So let me read it through. HSBC operates in more than 60 countries and territories. What does the acronym HSBC originally stand for? Is it A, Hong Kong and Singapore Banking Corporation? B, Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation? C, Hong Kong Savings and Banking Company? Or D, High Street Banking Corporation? Right, let's just give you a few minutes to do that. We can see it's literally popping through right now. So look, brilliant. Couple more seconds to do that. We've got another couple of hundred people to answer. Oh God, it's really close, isn't it? Okay, a few more people to answer, and then we're going to cut this short. Okay, I'm going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sharon, can you end the results, please, and share them? Okay, so we've got from this side, B, Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. HSBC, can you tell us the answer, please?
Yep, the correct answer is B, the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. So well done.
Fantastic. Excellent. Okay, should we go to the next slide? Got one more poll for you. Okay, Sharon, can you share the poll, please? Great. So HSBC headquarters has 2 statues that stand guard outside. Can you guess what type of creatures they are? Is it A, snakes, B, elephants, C, lions, or D, seals? Now, we'll give you a little bit of time because we're just literally going up in numbers there. It's pretty, I think we've got a majority here already. Let's just see what's going on. I'm thinking we've probably got quite a lot of HSBC customers on the call, ladies, which is good to know. Okay, a couple more minutes now. Fantastic. I'm going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sharon, can you end the poll and share the results, please? Okay, well, I don't think there's any real doubt in this. Everyone thinks it's lions. HSBC, can you share the answer, please? Fantastic. Congratulations, everyone. Really well done. Okay, great. Let's move on.
So at HSBC, we help people and businesses with their money, and we started in Asia over 160 years ago, and we're now one of the biggest banks in the world. So we have nearly 220,000 employees, over 40 million customers, and we work across 63 countries, and that's speaking 144 languages, so truly global. So we'd like to hear from you about the kinds of services you think that HSBC offers. So if we can pop your answers in the chat now, please. What kind of services do we offer at HSBC?
Great, Sharon, if you can enable that chat, that would be wonderful, please. Banking, loans, fixed rate saving. Of course, these are coming through really quick. Loans, mortgages, banking, loans, banking, sponsors, investment, mortgages, checks,
Wow.
investing. It's absolutely pumping through. Thank you, guys. This is really engaging. Payments. Great. I'm going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then stop putting your answer in the chat. So it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sharon, can you disable the chat, please? Fantastic. Okay, over to you.
Yeah, I think there's more options that have popped up in there than we actually have on our slides. So yeah, one of them that everybody picked up was banking, bank accounts. We offer bank accounts for people to put the money safe, to save up for future plans, holidays, whatever they might want to put their money with us for. We also offer, that was also popped in the chat, loans and mortgages. So yeah, we can offer people loans to pay back the loan over a period of time. So it could be either a loan for a car or a mortgage loan, possibly. And as they pay that money back, they also pay a little bit more back than we actually lent them in the first place. And that's what's classed as paying interest back on the loans. And another one I think was also in the chat, currency exchange. So because we're such a big, large global company, we can transmit money all over the world, and we can also do simpler stuff. For example, your currency exchange when you're going on holiday, if you want to change your pounds to dollars, euros, etc. But yeah, I think I saw insurance pop up in there as well. So yeah, we do some of that. But these are the main things we've just called out on this slide for you. Thank you. The next question we've got for you is, what do you think that HSBC use data for in their day-to-day business? So if you want to pop those answers in the chat, thank you.
Sharon, if you can enable that, that would be wonderful. Okay. Advertising, helping customers experience, security, machine learning. Oh, these are coming in thick and fast. Personalized ads, security, stocks, customer service, loans, statistics, AI security, AI development. Okay, lots and lots and lots of really great engagement here. Budgeting, selling. Okay, I'm going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you can stop typing in the chat now, that would be wonderful. Sharon, if you could disable the chat, that would be great. HSBC, tell us, what do you use data for?
So we've got something that we've already covered previously, obviously savings. We like to help people save their money for things that they really want. We use it for spending. We use it to monitor how people spend their money. And we can offer them then helpful tips. We can go out to them with product offers depending on how they spend. And safety as well, obviously, as Kirsty obviously works in data privacy. So HSBC uses data to spot fraudulent activity. So like someone trying to use your bank card in an unusual way. And we can put a block on that as well. We use it to make smart business choices. So I know that there was a few things on investing that came up. So we'll look at data from all around the world to understand how the economy is doing. And from there, we can look at trying to help businesses and people decide where to invest and what products to offer to help them grow. And then one of the final things, again, lots of AI input there, is technology. So we make our banking apps better, and we also use the data to help fix problems and make sure that our systems work as they should.
So just talking about the challenge then. So your challenge that we're going to put in front of you, your challenge is to become an event planner. And so you'll be working towards preparing a pitch to HSBC to fund a charity event. And the mission is for you to raise as much money as possible for your chosen charity using the data that we're going to provide you with. And we are using fictitious charities for this exercise. So fictitious means ones that are not real, so they're made up charities. And you'll need to choose what charity to support. You need to understand why. You'll need to pick a venue to host your event. You'll need to pick the people that you want to invite to the event. And some of the fun stuff, like you'll be able to pick the food and the entertainment for the event as well.
The charities you can pick from are, as Josie said, they're made up, but the first one is called Nature Trust, and this charity is interested in increasing woodland habitats within the UK. There's smart money, which is teaching children about managing their money. There's Nourish Food Bank, which is helping feed communities and also to help reduce food waste. There's A Place Called Home, which rescues, rehabilitates and rehomes animals. And finally, there's My Neighbourhood, which is engaging young people into community support activities. So if you want to have a quick look at those charities and pop in the poll which one you think you might pick for your chosen charity, that'd be interesting to see.
Fantastic. Thanks for sharing, Sharon. Right, guys, give you a couple of minutes just to pop your answers in there. Right, just a couple more minutes. There's lots of people on this call. It's why it takes so long for this poll, which is fantastic. Everyone's really getting involved, which is so great to see. Well done, everyone. Okay, I'm going to do a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Can we end the poll, please, Sharon, and share the results? Well, they all seem quite neck and neck, actually. A Place Called Home, you know, with rescuing and rehabilitating and rehoming animals seems to be the top. But actually, this is really good. It's nice to see that you've all got a preference and a favourite as well. So you're going to really enjoy working on this challenge. So let me pass back to the HSBC team. Sarah, I think you're on mute.
I'm on mute. Sorry, that's a user error and okay, so this is what you'll be able to, some of the things to think about when you're using our data. So as Josie's already kind of mentioned, we're obviously picking one of our fictitious charities. We want you to decide what kind of event you'll run. So, you know, if the majority was around the animal rehoming, would it be better outside in a park, that kind of thing? But you'll have obviously a budget as well. You need to think about the type of people that you want to invite, because they will have a maximum spend allocation as well. And I think one of the key things to remember in this is it's all about how much money you can make for your chosen charity. So whatever event you plan will obviously have a cost associated with it, and that cost will need to be deducted from the maximum amount of profit that you can get to using our data.
Here's just some of our, a small example of the data that we've got for you to choose from. So you can see here, there's the type of venue, so something like a school hall or an outdoor park. And you can see that each one of those has a capacity or number of people that it holds and a price, the cost of putting an event on in that location. And you can also see here just a few samples of the activities. There are a lot more in the spreadsheet itself. And you can see the ticket prices are different for children and adults and seniors. And when I say seniors, I'm talking about people like your granddad or your grandma that might come along to this event as well. So there's many, many options in the sheet that you'll be able to choose from. And all of those options will impact the overall spend and also the amount of money you can raise from your event. So Kirsty's going to now take us through a demo of that spreadsheet and the data.
Stop sharing and hand over to you, Kirsty.
Thank you. Sharing, yeah. So I'll just move my screen share thing out of the way so I can see what I do. So when you get to the
sorry, Kirsty, sorry to interrupt you. Can we just try and make that as big as possible, the screen? That's all right. We'll, just to let you guys know, on the recording, you'll be able to see it full screen. Okay, so it's a little bit small. Don't worry.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
perfect. Thank you.
Cool. So you're going to have, there's going to be 2 tabs on the data. One is the data explainer, so that you'll be able to have a full read of what the actual data that's contained in there, and it tells you what you need to do. So we're going to have a look at picking the charity, picking the venue, picking some activities and picking the attendees. So on the event planning tab, there's the yellow boxes. They're the ones that you're probably going to need to fill in, but you're going to need to also look at the reference data, which Josie just showed us an extract of. So there's options here for the location, all the different activities you can have, and it tells you the setup costs, the ticket prices for children, adults, seniors, etc. You'll see that some of them, a raffle is, you know, a lot cheaper than, for example, the food truck. You need to sort of bear that in mind. If you're having some sort of like something in it inside, is it feasible to have a food truck there? So just thinking about the venue you pick and the activities that you want. I mean, if you're going to invite 100 seniors, will they all want to go on the bouncy castle? Maybe not, but yeah, we can't say no, but they might not want to. So just have a think about the audience that you're inviting. So first of all, you look and pick a charity, and probably I would go with the one that everybody else picked, a place called home, because I'm an animal lover. Then we'd look at the venue. So we'd look at, for example, a community centre, and the information on the right-hand side will tell you how many you can actually have there. And then we'd look at picking some activities. So we may want a photo booth. We could want, we'll put the food truck in. I know we have a craft workshop, and people can be making stuff. And then you can also pick, we could have people pulling up outside, we'd have a car wash station. So it tells you here, when you scroll across, your actual expenditure that this is going to cost to do these 3 activities. You can change your activities. You want to just pick from the different drop downs, it's easy to pick the different activities you can have. And then you look at the number of people that you can invite. And I think the local community centre holds 100. So if we picked, for example, 40 children to attend, 30 adults and 30 seniors, it totals up to 100 there. It does this for you. And then you can look here at the actual income you're making. So the income here, you'd be spending £325, you'd be making 1,850, and it tells you that the profitability there is 82%. But if, for example, you started picking stuff that's a little bit more expensive, like a live music band, and I think the food truck was quite expensive, your profitability then would change. So it drops a little bit because you're not actually making as much money, because your expenditure is a lot more than it was before, and you're not making as much income. So keep an eye on what you're spending, how this affects your profitability, and then you can look at, you may want to think, well, actually, I don't want to use a community centre, I might want a bigger venue so I can invite more people. So just bear in mind the venue, the people that you want to attend, and the activities that these people that are attending may want to participate in. That's it for me. Any questions?
Can we go to the main deck and reshare that with the questions? That would be really great.
Bear with.
And if in the meantime, Sharon, you could enable the Q&A, that would be great. Okay. Everyone should be able to access that shortly. Now, very quickly, if there are any questions that have already been typed, press the hand and we'll see how it writes it. Do we get sent the link? Yes, absolutely. Okay. You'll get everything you need after this session. Okay. So let's just go through. We're going to wait for a few of the questions to come through. Keep an eye on the Q&A. If there's anything, there's quite a few people here. I'm just going to let them come through. And I think after we'll then disable it and we can go through some of these questions. All right. That will make sense. Keep an eye on the chat there. Right, so we've got quite a few that have come in. So tell you what we're going to do right now. Let's close off and disable that chat, Sharon, and let's go through some of the questions that have come through. Okay, can you do that? Fantastic. Right, let's just go through a couple of them. How do we get a link to the sheet? Everything that you need to complete this career challenge will be sent to you after, and we'll talk to you about that at the end of the session. So try not to ask that question again. Yes, you can do it with a partner, not a problem. What's the maximum amount of people coming in? I don't know if that means the session or if that means I think that means the session. That's not relative to the challenge. Do we get sent the link? Yes, we do. How much is the maximum money? So, Kirsty, do you just want to say and just explain a little bit that each venue has right? Brilliant. Just go through that again.
Yes, so it could be that, like I said, the community centre has a capacity of 100. I can't remember the other one. Like, if, for example, a garden party may have 350. I can't remember the exact thing. So on the reference data, it'll tell you all the venues' capacity, and it'll also then, you can then break that down. Is if you want all children there, you might not make as much money, but all the venues will tell you the maximum capacity that they can have.
Fantastic. How do we fill it in? You'll know exactly how to fill it in because we'll talk through that at the end of the session. So that one's been answered live. Again, how do you do it? Exactly the same. Let's have a look. There's quite a few questions in here. Yes, you can do it with someone. Yeah, it's all about the resources. It looks like, how do we get the link? Yes. Can we pick any charity? Yes, you can pick a charity, one of the 5 charities that you looked on the poll. Any charity, it's always good to choose a charity that perhaps is more interesting to you, but really think about the type of charity where would be the most favourable place to host it using the venue and the best audience to attend that event, and equally some of the activities that will be suitable for that. Okay, let's have a look. You can work on your own, you can work in a pair, that's not a problem. Let's just go through a few more. Do we need to get real money? No, you don't. This is just a pitch. Okay, so choose the charity you want. The idea of this is to make sure that you raise as much money as you can, and you're going to pitch the idea to HSBC so they can help you put on this event so you can raise the money. And it's a fictitious, hypothetical event, but it's a really good way of using Excel and doing something really fun. Okay. How much do you get to spend? You will see all of those details on the sheet when you get that. How long should our pitch be? We'll go through that at the end. And again, all the budgets and the submittal. Do we get paid or HSBC? No, no one gets paid. This is virtual work experience. Okay. And again, anything to do with certificates, etc., we'll deal with later. So let's move on to the next session, please.
Okay, so some of this has already been covered, obviously, during the questions, I think, but we want you to be really creative when you're presenting your findings. You can use anything you want. It can be PowerPoint, you could use Word. Visuals are always really exciting. We want to see your passion for your chosen charity. That's what we need to see coming out of this. And again, obviously, you need to detail how you've planned it, what you've included, how much money you think you can actually raise for your chosen charity. And then that's what would be pitched to HSBC so that we would fund it and you can raise all that money for the charity of your choice.
Fantastic. And let me just pop in there as well. You know, when we're pitching an idea to anyone, whether that's at school, whether that's at work, actually, when you tell that story and you answer all of those questions that Sarah's just been talking about, if you use some really nice graphics or some pictures, you can use PowerPoint, Canva, you can use Word if you wish. Even if you want to create a poster manually and then you email that in, that's absolutely fine. Get creative. But again, what you need to do using the data set that Kirsty kindly talked through was answer those 4 questions. What charities it's important to you? Where's the best venue? What's the type of food and entertainment you might provide? And what fundraising activities? Then what you'll do is you'll take that information, you'll put that into a poster or a PowerPoint slide, and you'll say how you've planned it, what you've included and why, how much money you can raise, and why should HSBC choose your idea and your pitch. Okay. Brilliant. Now let's go to the next slide.
Okay, and this is kind of what, again, Rachel's probably already been covered. You can work independently, you can work as part of a small team, and all submitted works will receive a virtual work experience certificate.
We will tell you about how to do that shortly. So let's just move on to the next slide, and let's only put into the chat questions we have about the task. Anything about resources, anything about submittal dates, we will cover in about 5 minutes time. So Sharon, can you enable the Q&A? Again, if there's any questions in the Q&A that is the same question as yours, rather than repeat it, okay, let's just like it and we'll be able to go through that. Okay. Right, again. Okay, anything to do with deadline, anything to do with submittal, all of that we will ask at the end of it. Okay, does anybody have any questions at all about the task? What's the maximum people you can have in the team? Absolutely up to you. Up to you. We have lots of people that work independently. We have lots of people that work in 2s, 3s, 4s, etc. Okay, now we've got quite a few questions coming in. So Sharon, can you disable the Q&A a minute, please, so that we can go through a few of these? We can disable that now. Okay, no problem. I think what might be nice, if it's all right with you, Kirsty, hang on, is the poster for HSBC? Yes, it will be. Do we have to be a certain age? Well, you should be in year group 7 to 9 if you're on this one. I think there was somebody that wanted to just see if the data demo again, if I just did all the cheapest activities in the largest venue, then wouldn't I just have the most profit? Well, you'd need to do the Excel test, okay, and have a look at that, because that's what that's about. If you play around with different venues, then that will give you the answer to that.
Yeah, and
so will this be
the cheapest activities might not be suitable for all of the participants as well, so bear that in mind.
Yeah,
but not everybody's
exactly.
going to want to do with the cheapo face painting. They might want something a bit more exciting.
Exactly. And some venues have way more capacity. Okay. Some of those venues might be more suitable for adults and seniors rather than children. Therefore, your activities, may well need to differ on that. Will this affect our CV? Absolutely. I mean, I think if you've got HSBC virtual work experience on your CV, I think that's certainly a good start. It's definitely a good thing to be able to talk about positively. The session today is being recorded, okay? The HSBC will be sent some of your work, okay? But we'll have it all in file for them to look at, but you have to submit a piece of work to receive a HSBC virtual work experience certificate. Right, let's move on. Okay, so I think this is the time that I just wanted to say a huge thank you to HSBC First Step team. I think, they have spent months and months putting this together for you to make sure that you've got something that's relatable, something that's fun, but actually something that is really going to develop those key skills as well. Ladies, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Just enjoy it. It's a task.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be an arduous task. It's not supposed to be something too difficult. Just enjoy playing with the data.
Fantastic. Now, we don't want you to sip off yet because we've got a couple of more things that we want to talk to you about, and you'll all be very pleased to know it's about how you get your resources, okay? It's been the question busting on everybody's lips. So, for those of you that have accessed today's Zoom call, okay, from 6:30 tonight, okay, so in an hour and 24 minutes, you'll be able to use the same Zoom link, and this is what you'll see. This is what you'll have access to. It's called the lobby. Okay, now you can see on the right hand side here, you'll be able to watch the recording. Okay, so you'll be able to rewatch it, refresh your mind, see Kirsty's demo, etc. You'll also have access to the reference materials that you see here. Now, there's a how to approach, which is quite simply how to get your resources, what the career challenge is, how to submit your work, what to submit on email when you submit your work, and also anything else that we require from you. And there's also, very kindly created by HSBC, a how-to guide. So it will tell you step by step the tips to follow. All right. So just a reminder, at 6:30 tonight, from 6:30, if you use the same link you used to access today's session, you will see this lobby. Okay. And you can then download everything and start cracking on. Can we please go to the next slide? Great. Now, if you don't want to do that, okay, or if you have any issues with that, we will send you an email at 6:30, okay, which will have exactly the same information. Now, for those of you that have registered today with your school email address, you may find a couple of things. The first thing is your school might have restricted your servers, so you may not receive that email in your inbox. If that is the case, and this also goes for Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo accounts as well, check your junk folders. If it's the biggest lesson I could teach any of you, check your junk folder before you email anybody. It's quite likely that it's popped itself in there. Okay. Now you'll see on the email, which is the approach, you'll have a link there to get the Career Challenge resources. You'll have a YouTube link to the recording. You'll have the mission of how you're completing the Career Challenge, how you submit your work, when you submit your work, what details you need on the email that you send, and then what happens next. You'll also have a how-to guide. Now, the how-to guide will have a WeTransfer link that will have your data set, which is exactly what Kirsty was presenting to you earlier. Now, this is what we call a WeTransfer link, okay? So what will happen is you're going to click on this link and you'll see the image below. It'll say your files are ready. You quite simply download it. Okay, and then all you do is go through this how-to guide, follow it step by step, and you'll be able to complete the challenge. We've also included as well in one of those links the presentation that was delivered to you today, and again you'll have a link to today's recording on a YouTube link. Okay, so don't worry if you can't access the lobby or you don't want to access the lobby, that's fine. You can access the lobby for the next 7 days. Okay, so if you decide not to do that tonight, don't panic. As long as you've got the Zoom link, you can go back in, but you will get an email at 6:32. Next slide, please. So again, another burning question, when are you going to submit it? So you're going to submit it to info@digdata.online. You've got a week. So next Wednesday, the 8th of October at 6, you need to state your full name on the email and your work, your school year group, and your school name. Okay. Now you'll then receive within a month, because there's lots of you on this call today, so we're expecting lots and lots of really exciting work. You're going to get a solution video, so the answer or an approach to the career challenge, so you can really understand how to manipulate this data fully. And you'll also get your HSBC virtual work experience certificate, and that will be sent to you via email. Okay, and you'll have that in a link as well, which will have a number of days to download it. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, let's start. We're going to open this up for the final time. Okay, so Sharon, can you please enable the Q&A? Okay, if everybody can pop any questions they have related to submittal or receiving the resources, that would be great. Also, if you see anybody that's put in a question that you also want to ask, then you can just like it. Okay, right. Okay, and we're just going to leave that a couple of seconds, then we're going to disable it and answer the questions for you. The Q&A going in thick and fast here. Okay, so let's just close that Q&A now, please, Sharon. Let's stop that now, disable it so it calms down a little bit. Okay, brilliant. Do we present our work to you? No, you create your presentation and you submit it to info@digdata.online. Who will pay for this thing? This is a hypothetical event. Okay, so ideally, you want in your presentation that HSBC are going to fund it. So you need to make it really appealing. Can you use AI? I think you could probably think about that for your presentation, but this is about developing data literacy skills. So make sure you use the Excel spreadsheet that the ladies have put together. This event is being recorded. Yes. I'm confused how to submit it. Okay, so if you go back in to the lobby at 6:30, all the details will be there. Plus, you will also have this email to you as well. You can do a presentation, you can do a poster. We're basically making a presentation that says what we are making a charity about, and it can be anything. It needs to be one of the chosen charities from HSBC. Okay, so explain on your presentation why you've chosen that and why you have chosen the venue and the amount and the different types of attendees. Will there be an award? Yeah, a virtual work experience certificate, which is going to be really valuable on your CVs, at your future interviews, etc. Let's have a look, a few more. How many people work in HSBC? Something like 219,000, isn't it? Yeah, a lot. They might be looking for 220,000. So make sure you do the work, and it looks really great. Okay, and also you'll find all that detail. Will this work with uni applications? It absolutely will. Is there a prize at the end? Yes, a virtual work experience certificate. Okay. Right, okay. Will our school get to know? Yes, absolutely. We work with lots of different schools, telling them how many students have registered, how many have completed the certificate. It's a really great way of being recognised at school. But actually, what's even more important is that we think about how important this is and how valuable it is for you in your own direction. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now. Lastly, last thanks to HSBC First Step team. Thank you for an incredible presentation. To all of you that have joined today, well done. This is a really good first step to your career journey. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Have fun, everyone.
Thank you. Good luck.